Greetings, taxable assets, or should I say, collateral damage. Welcome to the Departamento Analytica. I am Senior Auditor Valarius Krauss. My patience is operating at a significant deficit, and the recaf machine is dispensing something that tastes suspiciously like engine coolant.
Greetings, citizens. I am the scribe. I have the files prepared as requested, Senior Auditor.
Today, Scribe, we are conducting a mandatory audit of file number 40,999. The subject is a, quote, civilian contractor operating under the handle Auspex Tactics.
Yes, sir. The file is here.
He has submitted a report. Salamanders are bringing the heat in Warhammer 40K, and he uses words like cool, fun, and this is my personal favorite, bringing the heat. Scribe, consult the Master Codex Synthesis Guide. What is the Departamento's official stance on heat?
Heat is defined as thermal waste, Senior Auditor. It's a byproduct of mechanical inefficiency.
Exactly.
Ideally, energy should be converted entirely into, kinetic force or laser output, so heat suggests a loss of system integrity.
Precisely. Heat is wasted energy. We do not deal in thermal waste here. We deal in statistical breakpoints. We deal in ontological status. We deal in the cold, hard currency of efficiency. This contractor, Auspex Tactics, he seems to think war is a game of cool dragons and humanitarian space marines.
The common civilian perspective, sir?
Well, we are here to correct the record. We're here to audit the claims regarding the Forged Father Seeker's detachment, compare them to the Master Codex, and ensure no listener, none of you, commits the triple threat fraud. Scribe, open the file, and try not to tremble. It shakes the desk and it ruins my penmanship.
Yes, sir. Opening the file on the Salamander liability. The subject is the Forged Father Seeker's attachment. I have all the cross-references ready.
Good. Let us begin with Section 1, Ontological Verification, the Is It Real? Audit. We need to establish the legal framework before we can even begin to audit the violence. Scribe, what does the civilian contractor claim regarding the status of this military asset?
Auspex Tactics states, Forged Father Seekers is a themed detachment, around about 48% win rate, gaining an updated datasheet for a Vulcan He-Stan. He also mentions it was part of a season of fire.
48%. Mediocrity. It is efficient, I suppose. It keeps them off the radar of the balanced data slate executioners.
How do you mean, sir?
Well, if you perform too well, the High Lords of Terra, or, the Games Workshop rule scheme, they come down with the nerf hammer. 40% is safe. It's the tactical equivalent of just hiding in the bushes.
Ah.
But let's unpack this themed detachment nonsense. It is not themed, Scribe. It is a Season of Fire digital supplement. It was released between August 9 and August 23, 2025. It is a legal binding contract anchored by a 40mm polystyrene base.
The Master Codex confirms this, sir. It says, the Forged Father Seekers is a verified legal entity distinct from the generic codex, Space Marines. However, Auspex Tactics seems to imply it serves as a kind of replacement for the standard codex detachments.
Which brings us to the Think Warhammer protocol. Now, you need to listen closely, you gloss-brained civilians out there. These rules are not homebrew. They are not a hallucination induced by poor ventilation in your gaming basements. They are official. But here's the friction, the bureaucratic nightmare. Scribe, tell them about the keyword friction. This is where the audit gets really messy.
Yes. The audit notes a persistent keyword friction regarding the Oath of Moment Army rule.
Go on.
Because it is a supplement detachment and not a core codex detachment, there are complications regarding the latest data slate updates.
Complications. It's fiscal negligence. Explain Oath of Moment to the listeners, Scribe.
Yeah.
And assume they have never filed a tax return in their lives.
Of course. Oath of Moment is the foundational army rule for the Adeptus Astartes. At the start of the battle round, you select one enemy unit. All of your units then gain the ability to re-roll hit rolls against that target.
So it's the primary method by which Space Marines ensure efficiency.
Yes, exactly.
It's a targeted audit. You pick a target and you delete it. But recently, the High Lords issued a data slate, a patch, if you will, that enhanced this ability for certain detachments, specifically the Codex-compliant ones.
The Gladius Task Force specifically, they received buffs to their doctrines, but the Forged Father Seekers, they are technically a divergent supplement.
So they don't get the tax breaks. They're operating in a gray area. Legal, yes, but with caveats. It is a fiscal nightmare of PDF supplements fighting against hardcover books. You have to read the fine print. Auspex Tactics just glazes over this with talk of bringing the heat. But the reality is you are fighting the administration as much as you're fighting the enemy. You're playing a detachment that does not benefit from the latest subsidies.
But Auspex Tactics does say that salamanders are looking rather strong at the moment, despite this lack of subsidy.
Strong. Strength is a number, scribe, not a feeling. Looking strong is what a bodybuilder does in front of a mirror. We care about being efficient. Let's move to Section 2, the math of war. We are auditing the Vulcan's Quest detachment rule. Read the claim from the contractor.
Auspex Tactics reads, it gives you the assault keyword and +1 strength. Excellent for buffing close-range Space Marine firepower.
Excellent. Excellent is a qualitative assessment. It has no place in an audit. Words mean nothing. Numbers mean everything. It is not a buff, scribe. It is an inflation adjustment for outdated weaponry.
An inflation adjustment, sir.
Think, scribe. Look at the Master Codex. Section 2.1, the mobility multiplier. The assault keyword lets them advance and shoot. That increases their action economy. It creates a threat overload. But the real money, the real value, is in the lethality modifier, +1 strength within 12 inches. Let's break down the assets. We need to run the simulations. Start with the aggressors.
The aggressors equipped with Flamestorm gauntlets, sir. Their base profile is Strength 4.
Strength 4. Pathetic. Do you know what Strength 4 represents? It represents the standard, the baseline. Against a fellow Space Marine Toughness 4, you are wounding on a roll of a 4, 5, or 6.
A 50% probability.
A coin flip. I hate coin flips. It's an unacceptable risk. I do not send soldiers to die in a coin flip. But with Vulcan's Quest, that Strength 4 becomes Strength 5. Scribe, what is the breakpoint analysis on that?
According to Table 8.1 in the Master Codex, shifting from Strength 4 to Strength 5 against a Toughness 4 target changes the required roll from a 4+ to a 3+5.
Right. Now let's visualize this for the listeners. You have a squad of 6 aggressors. They are unleashing, roughly 21 shots on average from their gauntlets.
Yeah.
At Strength 4, you're looking at maybe 10 or 11 wounds, forcing saves. But at Strength 5,
wounding on 3s.
that is a 66% success rate. You go from 10 wounds to 14 wounds. That is a 33% increase in efficiency simply for standing within 12 inches. You are liquidating assets. You go from a coin flip to a statistical certainty. You are shredding power armor with efficiency. But that is small potatoes. Let's look at the real anomaly, the T6 breakpoint, the Infernus Marines.
The Infernus Marines, they're pyroblasters. Base Strength 5.
Now consider the targets: Adeptus Custodes, the Golden Boys, Toughness 6, or maybe light vehicles, Eldari Venoms, Drukhari Raiders, all Toughness 6. With a standard Strength 5 flamer, you are wounding these targets on a 5+ UD. You're asking for permission to do damage.
You need a 5 or a 6.
That is a 33% chance. It's garbage. It is thermal waste.
But with the +1 strength from the detachment, they become Strength 6.
And Strength 6 matches Toughness 6.
The Master Codex calls this the T6 anomaly. The wound roll shifts from a 5+ to a 4+6.
Do the math, scribe. A 33% chance becomes a 50% chance. That is a 50% raw increase in output. Do you understand that return on investment? You are taking a unit designed to clear chaff-cheap, expendable chaff, and you are turning them into a mid-board bully. You're threatening the elite. You're threatening light armor. All because of a single integer shift. Auspex calls it bringing the heat. I call it market manipulation. You are selling junk bonds as gold.
It creates a fascinating tactical niche, sir. Instead of just being anti-infantry, they become generalists. There's also the T10 anomaly mentioned here, sir, for the Melta rifle.
Ah, yes, the Eradicators, the heavy hitters. Standard Melta is Strength 9. Now picture a Lehman Russ battle tank, or a Gladiator, Toughness 10. With Strength 9, you are lower than the toughness. You're wounding on 5s.
Yes, sir. S9 versus T10 is wounding on 5s.
Pathetic. But with the buff, Strength 10, Strength now equals Toughness.
So they're wounding on 4s.
Which is a significant jump. But here is the fiscal independence point. Listen to me. If you are wounding on 4s or 3s naturally, you don't need the Oath of Moment rerolls as desperately.
I see. Because the raw probability is higher, the variance is lower?
Exactly. It allows the army to operate without Oath of Moment. You can send the Eradicators to the left flank to deal with the tank, while your main force focuses on the center, and you don't have to spend your 1 Oath token to make them effective. It's diversification of resources. You're not putting all your eggs in the captain's reroll basket.
That actually makes a great deal of sense, sir. It frees up the command structure.
Of course it makes sense. I am the auditor. I see the matrix behind the dice. Now, before we proceed to the legality of the movement phase, I need to address something.
Sir, is it the printer? Is it the printer again?
Look at this paper, scribe. Look at it. I am trying to read the line here about Vulcan Histan's spear, and there is a smudge right over the AP value.
I think that's just the toner, sir.
Yeah.
We're low on cartridges. The logistics department said we are on rationing protocols.
Rationing protocols. The Warhammer want vivid detail in our reports, but they supply us with recycled corpse starch ink that smears if you look at it too hard. Do they think I can conduct a forensic audit with smudged integers? I bet Auspex Tactics has high-quality laser printers. I bet his civilian budget includes authentic toner imported from Ultramar.
Sir, please, your blood pressure. Remember the stress seminar.
Don't you tell me about my blood pressure. And you, the listener, go to the comments right now. Tell me I'm wrong about the ink viscosity. I dare you. Civilians always think they know better than the auditor. Oh, Auditor Krauss, you should use digital files. I will digitalize your face if you do not respect the sanctity of the hard copy. Oh, Auditor Krauss, just buy a new printer. With what budget? The Emperor's tears? Tell me in the comments how you manage your toner level, since you're all clearly experts on logistics.
Shall we move on to Section 4, sir? The logic gate, the triple threat.
Yes. The logic gate. This is the most critical part of the audit. This is where the fraud happens. This is where players try to cheat the IRS of Warhammer. Scribe, read the claim from Auspex Tactics regarding the Infernus Marines and the Seeker's Companions rule.
He says, allowing them to advance and do actions and still shoot at the same time.
Stop, read that again. At the same time.
At the same time. Yes, sir.
That is embezzlement, Scribe. That is the triple threat fallacy. If a taxpayer tries to deduct their home office, their mileage, and their lunch on the same receipt, we send them to the penal legions. This is no different. We need to role-play this so the gloss-brained listeners understand the crime they are about to commit.
Simulation. Very well.
Imagine a player, let's call him Steve. Steve is playing his Salamanders. He is a unit of Infernus Marines. It's the movement phase. Steve rolls a d6 to advance. He moves his unit 6 inches plus the d6. He is
Advance.
Correct. The unit is now flagged with the advanced status. Right. Now, Steve looks at the mission card. He draws investigate signals. He wants to perform the action. Scribe, what does the rulebook say about performing actions after advancing?
Generally, a unit that advanced cannot perform an action unless it has the assault keyword on its weapons or a specific rule allowing it to shoot after advancing.
But the Forge Father Seekers have the assault keyword. So Steve thinks, I have assault weapons. I can advance and still be eligible to shoot. Therefore, I can do the action.
That is logically sound so far, sir. The assault keyword confers shooting eligibility even after advancing. And shooting eligibility is the requirement to start an action.
Correct. So Steve declares the action. He starts to investigate signals. But here is the pivot point, the logic gate. Scribe, what happens to a unit's eligibility once it starts an action?
The core rules state, if a unit starts to perform an action, it is not eligible to shoot or declare a charge for the remainder of the turn.
Boom. The trap shuts. Steve has started the action. He has consumed his shooting eligibility to pay for the action. Now he picks up his dice to shoot his flamers. He says, I have assault weapons. I can shoot. Scribe, audit him.
Objection. The shooting eligibility was the currency used to purchase the action. It has been spent. You cannot spend the same currency twice. So you cannot shoot.
Exactly. This is mode A, the spreader. You advance, you do the action, you shut up. You are an action monkey.
Yeah.
You are scoring victory points. You're a glorified intern running coffee.
Yeah.
You are useful, but you are not lethal. Now, what's the other mode? Mode B, the defender.
Mode B, that would be where the trigger condition normal move applies. The unit does not advance.
So if Steve does a normal move, he's eligible to shoot. He can start the action because of that.
But if he starts the action, he still cannot shoot. Isn't that right?
Correct. The core principle is the trade-off. However, Auspex claims they can do it at the same time.
Perhaps he means they are eligible to do any of those things in a turn.
No, he says advance and do actions and still shoot. That implies a sequence of advance, then action, then shoot. That is impossible. You burn your eligibility to do the task. You cannot eat your cake and shoot it too.
So Auspex's phrasing is misleading.
It is a lie. A beautiful, convenient lie that inflates his win rate. We are striking it from the record. The Seeker's Companions rule, combined with assault weapons, creates a versatile unit, yes. You can choose to advance and shoot, or you can choose to advance in action. You do not get the triple threat. You do not get speed, scoring, and violence. You must sacrifice one.
That is a very important distinction, Auditor. It prevents a lot of arguments at the table.
It is the difference between a legal victory and a disqualification. I want every listener to watch their opponents like a hawk. If they move, advance, put a token down for an action, and then reach for their dice. Call the judge. Call me. I will audit them personally. Now let's look at how this army actually generates returns. Section 5. The Synergistic loop. The go turn.
Auspex mentions Vulcan he stan. Nominate one enemy unit to reroll all wounds against it with Melta and Torrent weapons.
Finally, a reliable asset. Vulcan Hestand. He is not a hero scribe. He is a walking audit of the enemy's toughness. He looks at a tank and says, your armor value is rejected.
Auspex calls him a tank and a well-rounded character.
He's a force multiplier. Let's look at the sequence. The zombie loop of violence. Step 1. The delivery.
The Master Codex suggests a Land Raider Redeemer or an Impulsor. It notes that Vulcan is Tacticus keyword now, so he can ride in the Impulsor.
Correct. The Impulsor is the budget option. It gets him there. The Land Raider Redeemer is the premium package. You pay for the assault ramp. But in this detachment, we care about the shooting. Step 2. The aura trigger.
Vulcan's Forge Father ability. He picks a target within 24 inches, provided it's visible to him.
And everything rerolls wounds. Melta and Torrent. This is where the math gets disgusting. Without this reroll, the army is trash. With it, it's a statistical anomaly. Step 3. The spend. The stratagem.
Immolation protocols. It costs 2 command points. Torrent weapons gain. Devastating wounds.
Scrat, explain devastating wounds to the class.
When a weapon with devastating wounds rolls a critical wound, which is usually a 6, the damage bypasses all armor saves and invulnerable saves. It is applied directly as mortal wounds.
It ignores the armor entirely. It cooks the target inside their shell. Now, 2 CP is expensive. It's a high capital gains tax. But the payout, Scribe, run the numbers for me. 10 Infernus Marines, plus the Immolator enhancement on a character attached to them.
Running the simulation, 10 Marines is 10d6 shots. The average of 10d6 is 35. The character might add a few more, so let's say 35 to 40 hits.
And remember, Flamers auto-hit. We skip the hit roll entirely. We go straight to the wound roll. Now, we're strength 6 because of the detachment. Let's say we are firing at Space Marine Terminators. Toughness 5.
We would be wounding on 3s. Correct.
But we are fishing for 6s. We want the devastating wounds. Usually, you roll 40 dice, you get about 6 or 7 6s. That's 7 mortal wounds. Good, but not great. But Vulcan allows full rerolls to wound.
Exactly. You roll the 40 dice, you keep the 6s, you pick up everything else, even the successful 3s, 4s, and 5s, and you reroll them. You're fishing for more 6s. This is market manipulation.
Mathematically, with full rerolls, the probability of rolling a 6 goes from about 16% to roughly 30.5%.
And apply that to 40 hits. 30% of 40 is 12.
The audit estimates, yes, roughly 10 to 12 mortal wounds.
10 to 12 mortal wounds. Scribe, do you know what 12 mortal wounds does to a squad of Custodes? It deletes them. It cripples a Knight Titan. It evaporates a Terminator squad. And you did it with Flamers. You invested in cheap, mass-produced Flamer shots, penny stocks. And you got a payout in mortal wounds, the gold standard of damage. This is penny stock violence. It is arbitrage. You're trading volume for quality.
Auspex calls it a nuclear option.
For once, the civilian is not wrong. But he fails to emphasize the risk. You're exposing yourself. You are within 12 inches. If you do not kill the target, you are dead. It's a high-risk portfolio. If you spend those 2 CP and roll poorly, well, you're bankrupt.
Speaking of portfolios, Auditor, shall we review the specific army lists mentioned in the report? Section 6, Portfolio Review. These are the players putting their capital on the line.
Proceed. Let's see if these players can balance their ledgers.
First is the Josh Lewis portfolio. He placed second at a 92-player tournament.
A respectable sample size. What are his assets?
He runs Forge Father Seekers, 2 maxed-out Infernus squads, 2 Librarians, and Repulsors.
Librarians.
Why is he hiring Psyker?
Auspex notes. He uses Librarians for a 4+ invulnerable save.
Insurance fraud. That is what that is. He knows the Infernus Marines are soft targets. They die to a stiff breeze. So he attaches a Librarian to give the unit a 4+ invulnerable save. He is buying insurance policies for his expendable assets. It makes the action monkeys durable. And the Repulsors. The report says the Repulsor provides the Burning Vengeance trigger. If the transport is shot, the unit can disembark and shoot immediately.
Clever. He baits the enemy into shooting the transport. Oh, look at me, I'm a defenseless tank. Then the unit jumps out and liquidates the attacker. Valid. High volume of fire. This Josh Lewis. He understands the market. He is playing the counterpunch economy. Next.
The Fernando portfolio. This one went 5 games undefeated.
Undefeated. A perfect audit record. Stop trembling, Scribe. Look at this ledger. It is pristine, boring, devoid of joy, but mathematically perfect. I almost admire it. What's his secret?
He uses MSU multiple small units, Adrax with Blade Guard, but then 2 regular Land Raiders and 3 units of 5 Infernus Marines.
A diversified portfolio. See, he's not betting everything on one big squad. He has 3 separate units of 5, 3 separate action monkeys. If one dies, he has 2 more to perform the investigate signals task.
Auspex notes he uses regular Lamb Raiders instead of Redeemers.
Cutting costs. The regular Land Raider is cheaper. It has Godhammer-less cannons. Long range. He loses the Strength 6 Flamestorm Cannon synergy. So he's trading lethality for range and scoring potential. He wins by playing the mission, not by tabling the enemy. Efficient scoring, lower lethality. It's boring, but it pays the bills. It's the accounting firm of army lists. Next.
The Andy Moore portfolio. He took first place at Hobby Henchman.
And his assets.
Andy uses the Firestorm detachment, not the Seekers. He has 2 Land Raider Redeemers, Adrax, and Company Heroes.
The generic option. He rejects the specialized tax breaks of the Seekers for the flat rate of the Firestorm detachment.
Auspex says. He trades the infantry scoring for +1 strength on the Land Raider weapons.
Gloss-brained. Why play the Firestorm Assault Force when Seekers allows Infernus Marines to score points? He is chasing the Strength 7 Flamestorm Cannon. Sure, a Strength 7 Flamer is terrifying. It wounds Marines on 2s, but can a Land Raider perform the Clems action while shooting? No. Vehicles are terrible at actions. He's relying on brute force. It worked for him, evidently, but I find it inelegant. It lacks the bureaucratic finesse of the logic gate. It's a blunt instrument.
Finally, sir, there is the Alexander Ingalls portfolio, another Firestorm list.
More generic behavior.
But he includes a squad of 6 Eradicators inside a Land Raider led by an apothecary biologist.
Ah, the lethal hits loophole.
Yes, sir. The apothecary gives the unit lethal hits, rolling a 6 to hit automatically wounds.
And the Firestorm detachment gives them strength 10 within 12 inches. That is an apocalyptic anti-vehicle strike, as Auspex puts it. He's hunting titans. It's a valid strategy if you expect heavy armor. But if you face a horde, if you face 120 orcs, he will be overwhelmed by the paperwork. He has too much quality and not enough volume.
It seems the Forge Father Seekers is the preferred choice for the specialists, sir. Auspex says it's a 4-to-1 adoption rate among Salamanders players.
Because the market corrects itself. The players know that scoring points with battle line units, the Infernus Monkey utility, is superior to slightly stronger tanks. Points win games. Killing is just a way to clear the desk so you can file the paperwork.
Shall we liquidate the specific assets? Section 7.
Yes. Let's finalize the valuations on the key units. We need to tell the listener what to buy and what to burn. Adrax, Agatone.
Auspex says, he fights with Malleus Noctum, Strength 10 Thunderhammer, reroll wounds in melee.
He covers the melee liability. The Salamanders are a shooting army. They stand within 12 inches and burn you. But what happens if the enemy charges? What happens if a World Eater's player screams and runs at you? Adrax is the bouncer. He cleans up the survivors. He pairs with Blade Guard veterans. 24 attacks, strength 5, re-rolling wounds. He's the cleanup crew. Essential for balancing the books. Without him, you fold in close combat.
And the Land Raider Redeemer.
The high-yield bond.
It's expensive. It costs almost 300 points. That is a massive chunk of your budget. But the dividends. Flamestorm cannons. D6 plus 3 shots. Strength 6, damage 2. And the Overwatch. Scribe, the Overwatch.
Auspex mentions, Salamanders tend to be spoiled for choice for Overwatch.
If an enemy moves within 12 inches, you spend 1 CP for Overwatch. Flamers hit automatically. You burn them before they even touch you. It is a preemptive audit, a mandatory fine for entering your personal space. It creates a no man's land where the enemy's afraid to move. Psychological warfare is efficient warfare.
There is. One more thing, sir. The sponsor of the Auspex report, Greyheart Studio.
The civilians and their toys.
They offer 3D printed dragon bits, pet dragons, ancient armor, custom bits to make your models look more salamandery.
Unauthorized modification of departmental property. Do not glue pet dragons to your power armor. It compromises the structural integrity. The machine spirit does not want a plastic lizard glued to its exhaust port. It wants holy oils and binary prayers.
Auspex calls them fun-themed upgrades.
Fun. There is that word again. War is not fun, Scribe. War is a calculation of acceptable losses. Gluing a dragon to your helmet does not improve your ballistic skill. It just makes you a larger target for snipers. Oh, look, shoot the idiot with the lizard on his head.
I think they look quite nice, sir. The aesthetics of the X8 Legion are quite distinct.
Yeah, what'd you say?
I mean,
Who?
structurally unsound, yes. Very inefficient. A waste of resources.
That is what I thought you said. If I catch you 3D printing a lizard, Scribe, I will turn you into a servo skull. Put the file away. The audit is complete.
Yes, Auditor Krauss.
We count the strength points. We count the rerolls. We argue about whether a plastic man can run and do a task at the same time. We scrutinize the ink on the page and the logic of the syntax.
We act as if these numbers will save us.
It is our duty, sir. It keeps the machine running.
Is it? Look at the report. Look at the lore Auspex talks about. Vulcan Heastan, the Forge Father, searching the galaxy for the 9 artifacts of Vulcan. He believes that if he finds them, his father will return.
The Primarch will return to lead his sons, Auspex said. It's a prophecy.
Hope. That is all it is. A rounding error in a galaxy of despair.
Yeah.
Vulcan is gone. He isn't seeking artifacts. He's probably hiding from the paperwork. Can you blame him? Look at us, trapped in this office, arguing about the efficiency of a flamer against a genetically engineered horror.
The Salamanders protect civilians, sir? Auspex said they are humanitarian. They live among the people of Nocturne.
A noble, gloss-brained goal.
Yeah.
In this economy, lives are the cheapest currency of all. They fight to save a village while a planet burns. They spend command points to save a squad while the sector collapses. It is bad math, scribe. It is terrible fiscal policy. To care is to be inefficient.
Great.
But it is the only ledger worth balancing, I suppose, even if it is inefficient. Even if it generates heat, perhaps the heat keeps the darkness at bay for one more turn. For the love of the Empire, tap that like and hit subscribe. Validating your existence validates mine.
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, the departmental will send us some fresh toners so I can read the AP values.
We can hope, sir.
Dismissed.
Bye.
Pay tithes, citizens.